Supreme.
Shock.
Etymology.
They say I'm dope, I said I'm smoke, fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water, wet. I'm steady beat, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla and rah-rah, unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all seeing eyes. We call the third eye. We came to build, not pay your bill. Slang municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of ancient mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian cretins in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus. But you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But believers and never believers, non-believers, cause we don't be lying, shaking hands and taking oaths with demons.
Peace and love. What up, though? What it do? What's popping? What's cracking? What's happening? And then times 9, times 10. Been a long minute, you know, since we checked in. So we checking in. And when we checking in tonight, we gonna talk about a few things. Few things, We talk about the cocaine in La Casa Blanca. You know, the coke. They said coke, and they use the word dime bag, like really trying to downplay it or whatnot. But are you surprised that they found the cocaine in La Casa Blanca? Like, really? No fingerprints. They ain't talking about inclusive DNA found on the bag of cocaine in La Casa Blanca. You know, they made sure that they said that the Biden family was out of town. Said because the first person they gonna point at is gonna be what's his name, Hunter Biden, something like that. Then we have a situation that's not funny, although it's being appealed, is the decision for the survivors of the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre that occurred. You know, their uh, motion for reparations for stolen land. You can't replace life. Things that can be purchased by way of fiat currency, you can replace those. Although it's just a piece of paper with a bunch of serial numbers and endorsement, well, endorsed by way of your Secretary of Treasury and your Treasurer of the United States. You know, you see a series or what's um, known as a serial number on these notes, these debt notes or whatnot. And it's only a small percent of us who recognize the fact that those serial numbers are relative to this corporation known as United States of America pledging their citizens, not just the labor of their citizens, but their citizens, their wards of state, so to speak. The people who refuse to be responsible for their own affairs. The people who don't want to be liable for anything. So you go along with being extorted and kidnapped and held for ransom and taxed and taxed and taxed and taxed, paying tithers and tithers and tithers, tithes over and over again for what? I'm asking again. So, um, the survivors of the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre, their case for reparations, was denied. So they're now appealing it, right? And I want you guys to focus on the fact that you hear me say all the time that, these corporate entities, whether it be a state or a city or a county, you know what I mean? Or district, federal district, I don't give a shit. They all have proof that they're doing business, right? By way of documents and, such seals saying that they were established and founded and incorporated in a particular year. And as a matter of fact, as we were riding on our way to Tennessee last week, got into Ohio, right? And when we got to Toledo, there's a sign. It says Toledo Corp, like corporation. It didn't say city of, it says Toledo Corp, right? So again, when you say, y'all crazy, y'all are conspiracy theorists. So no, 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 no. When I'm telling you something that can be proven, all you have to do is read. It's not even a matter of doing a deep research or some shit like that. It's simplistic. It's at your fingertips, but you want to continue to be a subject and be forced into paying excise taxes by way of, you know, contract, right? What do you call that? Adhesion contracts, things of that nature. Look it up. Simple was there, right? So at the same time, right, I say these corporate entities, these colonists, these invaders, and their, corporations, they have millions of statutes, codes, policies. You can call them laws, whatever you want to call them, millions of them, right? Now we have one case where, again, I'll mention it once more. The Tulsa Massacre survivors case was denied for reparations, redress. You know what I'm talking about? Restitution, compensation. They were denied, right? So, we have an abundance of people, naysayers, negative people. See, it'll never happen. It'll never, you know what I'm saying? But what I want you to focus on is the town. And let me take myself down for 1 second, y'all. What is the name of the town? Evanston, Illinois. Evanston, Illinois approves reparations for Black residents, right? If you know something, you know something. If you don't, you don't. But again, it wasn't an abundance of credit or fiat given to people or checks. This form of reparations was paid out by way of housing. And again, we'll get a bunch of naysayers, but what you have to understand is the fact that these descendants who are still living and breathing on that land prior, some time ago, a large portion of that land belonged to melanated people, right? And it was stolen from them, right? And this being a little more recent than the Tulsa Massacre, and the fact that they had many melanated brothers and sisters within their local government, right? Mayor, city council, city clerk, city attorney, you know what I mean? And they were able to make this happen, right? But again, you see what I'm saying when I say what I had said. You got one case for reparations that was denied, that is now undergoing through the process of being appealed. But again, you have a city known as Evanston, how you say that? Illinois, who were granted a form of reparations. We'll say that, right? Same corporate entities that are connected. They're just a subsidiary, right? Then at the same time, again, you got cocaine and La Casa Blanca. They found the cocaine in the White House, right? Cocaine in the White House, right? Then you got BRICS. What is it? Brazil, Russia, India. I'm missing the C. Who's the C, y'all? I know the S is South Africa, right? BRICS. They have announced that in the month of August, they'll have a gold-backed currency. They will have a currency that is backed by gold, meaning that it won't be a fiat currency backed by whatever, GOD, gold, oil, and drugs. Not that kind of currency, a gold, GOLD, gold backed currency. We know that's going to cause some problems. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be the problem. That gold backed currency versus a currency that is backed by a bunch of serial numbers, that is backed by a bunch of bonds and promises to pay and labor of, future labor of subjects who, are 2 minutes old or 2 days old, all the way up to those who are 102 years old. That's how they do their business, and these have been their business practices for a minute now, right? And for the life of me, you cannot make me accept the fact that we are still willingly participants in our own demise, right? Up under these colonist invaders, because that's what they are. The same type of military tactics that they used on our ancestors, they're using on us. But you refuse to call it that. They've created terms like capitalism and Marxism and shit that's just illogical at the end of the day. I was looking forward to having a guest, being that this is my first time back in a nice little minute, but it bees like that sometimes. So let's see, we got some comments. Peace, peace, peace. Okay. I ain't had a comment song. Let peace and love, bro. Been a minute. Had a lot of rain. A lot of rain was coming down on me. Had to get it together. Wait, let me go back so I can see what's going on. I left out China. Yeah, BRICS. Who did I say? I didn't say shit. I just left it out. But again, meanwhile, while you have BRICS making the announcement that they are going to have gold-backed currency by August, we have reports that they doing coke in the White House. Like, come on, y'all. Again, the reality, when you look at, let's go back. Let's look at how the invaders gain control. It's a scenario, not even a scenario, it's the truth. And many of us still have a difficult time accepting the fact that first came the missionaries with their Bibles, and the ancestors that they couldn't conquer by way of that Bible, they would push the missionaries were going on about their business, and then they would bring the mercenaries in with the guns or whatnot. On some get down and lay down. Get down or lay down. Hence, you have our current situation of where we are right now, right? So we're going to witness a lot of picking and choosing. Peace, peace. Can we get you in here?
What's going on?
Peace, big bro. How you been?
I've been okay. Got a little issue with my daughter, but everything else is all right. How about you?
Man, it's been life, up and down and round and round.
Yeah, I was down. I know you in Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
And I was in your area Monday. I was at a service. One of my best brothers transitioned, and another sister who was his church was on Lafayette and Outer Drive, and her business was on Outer Drive in Dix, and she transitioned last Monday. Her service is tomorrow. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Wow,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
What you up to?
Yeah, I'm trying to do a little short bill, before I retire for the evening. Brother D. Calico is supposed to come through. I guess he might have gotten busy or whatever, but basically just discussing the cocaine in La Casa Blanca. You know what I'm saying? As well as the Tulsa, Oklahoma reparations case being denied, and although they do have the opportunity to appeal it, again, you got a lot of people saying a lot of negative things. So I had to, point my finger at the town in Illinois, it's Evanston, that
Oh,
received reparations. They received
okay.
reparations. It wasn't in the amounts
Yeah.
that, and there's no
What
amount that's
form?
gonna suffice and provide, the type of restitution that we would deem as fair, because you can't bring back a life. You know what I'm saying? But
What
again,
what
they
form of restitution? I mean, what form of uh, reparation?
well, what they, I think it's like 25,000 per person, and they're
Oh
using
wow.
it for housing. For housing, it's specifically, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's like some type of age requirement or some type of requirements as to where it could be used for
Wow.
something else. But yeah, and this is not new. I think this happened. It happened a couple years ago. That
Oh wow.
right, right. So it's just a double-edged sword. Like I said, these people are here to do business, and
Mhm.
they came here to do business, and that's what they do by all means necessary.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
And I know you probably are more versed on BRICS, that Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, uh, Unison.
Yeah, and no, I've been I don't know what I've been concentrating on. Because I'm out in a different. Because my daughter messed my brain up yesterday, man. She came with that hood stuff, and she kind of hurt my heart. I thought we was cool, and I was like, what? Why are you going backwards? You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I was yeah, I'm trying to I man, I did some stuff with these two important people down here in Miami, and a sheriff, and uh, it's on that line of like international stuff. But he didn't. I don't think he edited me out, and he he does documentaries and stuff on PBS, and it went worldwide. But I don't know if I was on there. And what they kept doing was they kept hypnotizing the people in Overtown with Negro, colored, and black. And I wanted to say something, but it was his show, and I was somebody new. I didn't want to mess nothing up, but I did get up there and told them, let's compete with the big boys. What we got down here is Brickle. The Brickle boys are like Wall Street boys, big financial boys, and then West Palm Beach, and they're all interconnected internationally, you know. And the thing with me is I'm right here in the government, like I was in Detroit, with me, you, Smiling Thunder, and all the Bobby L's people, and we were actually moving stuff, doing stuff, and everybody has dispersed out and doing their own thing, which is good, But yeah, I told you, man, I'm just trying to survive right now because it's crazy, you know. But the reparations, they're here, but we can get a big. I told them we can get a bigger pot if we just give an inch of degree of. Well, we can't do it now because Armageddon is happening. You know what I'm saying? And some of us who knows what's going on, I was told to get the land. That's what I was told. I was told to get the land. And another person who's, I think he's an attorney. He's the one that did the boycott here in Miami. he also said, if we get the land, we have the land. We just haven't turned it over into our custody. You know what I'm saying? Liberty City, Overtown, Opelika, I think it's Florida City, Seminole, Homestead, all of those places. I call Detroit the mosque, not the mosque number one, but the whole city is a mosque or a temple. You know what I'm saying? And we did. I want to do that here, and I can't do it because everybody's doing their own thing, especially the boulets and the attorneys and esquires. You know, all those people. So I got to get the okay from them. But yeah, the reparations. If we like, you know, we got basically you got to come out with what they call it abundance, and we don't have anything to show our abundance to get our property. But if you're more, you don't have to show anything. It's yours, basically. And so what I was telling the people is you got to get on post and claim your spots like our brothers, the Hebrew Israelites used to do. They used to be on post and didn't let nobody come into the city unless you knew certain people, or you're from the city, and whoever comes in the city as a foreigner, you got to pay a tithe or a tribute or something like that in order to do business. And those that are doing business in our city got to pay us a tax because it's our city, whether they want to believe it or not. So
Pay tribute.
Yeah.
Pay that tribute.
I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I think tribute, yeah. And so that has to be done on paperwork. But you got a old school stronghold on the esquires and the preachers and alcoholics and all those type people, and they don't see the real picture. The other thing is we have to divest ourselves of those things, and we got to go through some, what they call it, starvation. We got to fast. Just got to stop doing what we're doing and just watch it fall. But I can't. How do you tell somebody you got to get off the alcohol? How do you tell them you got to get off this and get off that just for a minute until we see this thing fall? But if we keep medicating ourselves, it's not going to happen, basically. And to be known internationally, we're being known internationally. You're being known internationally, and because of your man's YouTube, I think YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, all that stuff. Yeah, you guys are international. So we all gotta draw up a draft or a writ or something like that in order to make ourselves known, to say that we are coming. We want to purchase our land because they're coming from the east to the northwest to get our land, which is more expensive because it never floods here. It's prime real estate, and it's unincorporated. They call it Miami-Dade County unincorporated. And so it is the most prime land in the county.
Well, we know y'all been hot like fire the past week over there, down there.
I don't know. Tell me what's going on. I don't know because I'm
talking about the heat. I'm talking about the weather.
Oh, as far as it's not that bad. To me, it's not that bad. I'm waiting I want the hurricanes to come.
Well, they talking about over 100 degrees for the past week.
Nah, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. It don't bother these people out here. And most of them are, they got that melanin. Even the our Cuban, Latino brothers. What my vision is a quiet revolution, and I think our Haitian and Hispanic people are going. Well, Hispanics have taken over. I mean, they got like 17-20% of this power, and I think we're still at 13, but I could be wrong. And I think the Haitians are maybe at 8 or 9, maybe 10%. They already have certain local governments already in place, and they only established themselves basically from the, I think, the 50s and 60s, and they had the rush come in the 80s, and you should see them now. They're flourishing overnight. And so what our indigenous pre-Columbian people are doing is they're just relaxing. They're just sitting up under the tree chilling. Some are working, but they're not working to the point where you got a big project. You know what I'm saying? And I may not see that. Maybe I'm seeing something else. But you got some people that got their material wealth and they're doing their thing. They got their yachts and boats and land and all. But that's nothing, man. I'm talking about international trade and commerce, banking, big ships coming in, airplanes, us building our own ships, us building our own cars. And you don't have to steal it. You can build your own. So the Haitians I think they have a very good future, very good future. They're in politics. They're in mayorships, police chiefs, lawyers, doctors, you name it. They live in some of the best prime real estate in the county. And that's a beautiful thing. And
indeed, we
go
have
ahead.
to, as far as for our people, we have to cross the threshold of actually holding a piece of this nation's wealth. And what I mean by that is, if we make up 13% of the population, and we should hold 13% of the nation's wealth, and we know we're nowhere near that. So
Correct.
again, you have people who come in from another country. It's just like, for example, say I relocated somewhere where English is not the first language. They have another first language. Well, the people of that land who are melanated like me, and they also speak my first tongue, I'm gonna gravitate towards them. We're gonna build and you know what I'm talking about? We're gonna be able to
Mm-hmm.
communicate, we're gonna be able to get some things done. So when you talk about a people from a different nation coming into North America, the mainland, because it's not as if Haiti or Jamaica or the DM or any of these islands aren't a part of the Americas, because they are the adjoining islands. We know this information already, but my point is, they are going to relate to their own brothers and sisters who share the same culture and traditions that they do. So of course they're going to work together and
Mm-hmm.
as well as patronize one another's businesses and things of that nature to help keep the wealth within their pockets. You see what I'm saying?
Through
Versus
circulation.
us.
Yeah.
Yes. So the dollar recirculates in their own community, as we would say, within the conscious community. But again,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with us, as so-called Black Americans, African Americans, or all these different labels, mulatto, all these different Negro, you know what I'm saying? We are separated, by things like living in other areas. We don't live in the same area. We don't live in the same city. You know what I'm saying? Um, Belief systems. You're a Pentecostal or 7-day Adventist, and you're a Jehovah Witness, and he's a Muslim, and he's a Hebrew Israelite, and he's a Baptist, and you know what I'm talking about. So based off of belief, that also separates us, as well as territory. We're in different territories or whatnot, so it's a little bit different. And then
Well,
we all
yeah.
share a first tongue of an invader, being English. You see what I'm saying? So when the
Mm-hmm.
Haitians get together, or when the Jamaicans get together, or when the Dominicans get together, they can habla Espanol. You see what I'm saying? They don't have to speak
Mm-hmm.
English. When the
Right.
Haitians get
In their own
together,
mother tongue.
they can speak French and all. You know what I'm talking about? The same thing. We don't have that. We don't have that. We have to still communicate with one another with the invader's tongue. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that strips the culture and you know what I'm saying
It
away.
kind of cuts us a third off as far as the because the language does get us further. So
Mhm.
they do have classes of Creole, French, and Spanish, but the medication that the substances that they're medicating us off with, TV, the cell phone, the internet, and other medicating devices, it's still slowing us down. Some of us do catch on because they're around certain stores, the Arab stores and Hispanic stores, and now you see us just being bullies and just taking stuff without even paying for it. I mean, some of us, not all of us, but uh, it's a form of them, what you call you reap what you sow kind of thing, and we do it so messed up. It's we're still putting ourselves back. And now some people are going forward. We just don't see it yet. I know they got blueprints. I know people are doing things, but it just hasn't happened. But I know it's coming because we got some wealth now. Some of us have wealth. We got certain millionaires, whether they do it by means of black market, you know what I'm saying, or a little stuff here, a little stuff there. I'm not hating on that. If you can get a buck without taking my truck, go right ahead. You know what I'm saying? But do your thing. I'm not hating on nobody when you're trying to come up. But yeah, the Haitians, and then you got the Caribbean people, and they're just making their move. We don't see it, but I see it. But what I want to do is I want to shock them. I want to shock them with what I got because I want to know if anybody else has that. So I got caught up in some debt issues where I could have been saving some coins, buying more silver and gold. And I haven't had any gold yet, but I like to get some gold and get out here and sell my craft. You know what I'm saying? It's all about selling your craft. And so I'm going to start selling my craft, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But with my experiences going into another dimension, I'm a little bit older than you guys, so I see it like I'm retired. You know what I'm saying? But I'm never finished doing what I got to do. I still got to do work. I just haven't had the proper resources to start getting it done. I had certain things in order, but I got sidetracked because I guess my ego got in the way, as you would say. And so, but no, I put something out there. I can't tell it to you on here, but I did put something out there. What I need to do now is come back and show them what the first part, and I guarantee he's going to use that against me. And he's a producer. He's a TV producer. I mean, a documentary guy. And I know he's going to use that against me. And a couple of people on that saw what was going on, they kind of waved at me on Facebook. Some big people. I mean, big people, philanthropy people. So we're known. Believe we're known. We're known. So all we got to do now is present our plan of ownership or re-ownership because they know this is ours, basically, and they know they got to get the hell out of here. We're overpopulated. We outnumber them. You know what I'm saying? And so they're ready to give us the land, but we're not ready to take it or to transfer it. I was told this by a gentleman. Oh my gosh. That's what it's right there, but we act so how do you say it? Ignorant and disrespectful, to whereas the same thing keeps going on. That's why we're still in the back. and we're not dignifying ourselves to go get it. That's why some groups have theirs and their abundance and some don't. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you have the knowledge, you already have you have a seership, and you know what's down the pike. It's going to happen eventually, but they can't give it to everybody because everybody's not ready. They're not ready to manage this big chunk of land. We don't have any tractor trailers. We don't have any farming equipment, boats, ships, and nobody's willing to pick cotton again. I'm not saying with your hands, but pick cotton. Can we take the plastic and make the plastic, develop it so it can be useful instead of dumping it in the trash? So, yeah, those groups right there. Yeah, those groups right there. That's what we need to be doing business with right there. BRICS, exactly. And so the dollar is falling, or they say it's falling, and the more that we go ahead.
Nah, I said they say a lot.
Yeah,
Again, they say a lot, and they do a lot, and we see some progression taking place with other nations. Meanwhile, it's cocaine in La Casa Blanca. Like what? Really? Did the JFK leave it there? They don't want to talk about it.
It's here, but we have to. They want to see some kind of. It's like you got to show and prove, and we ain't showing and prove. As long as you keep eating pork, and I hate this, and cooking pork and thinking pork is good for you, and fried foods and all that stuff, and you're not being healthy, and most of our people we're not healthy, then yeah, they laugh at us. They still laugh at us, and this territory here with their system is based on youth. They like to look young. They like to be thin. They like to get out, and it's a tourist mecca. And so why not get some of this tourist mecca tourism? So I said to my alumni people at my high school, because I didn't go to college, I don't have letters, I don't have a degree and all that good stuff. But I said, why don't we have our open markets on certain days right down Martin Luther King Street? They designate Martin Luther King as a signal saying you're into the Black neighborhood. Everybody knows that. But when the traffic is backed up on 95, where do they go? They go to the Black neighborhood so they can get home. So why not put a market down 62nd Street and sell fruits and vegetables, clothes, just like they do it in some of those markets that you just put up there? We can do it, but the people, our people, they say it's a waste of time because you got crazy people out there robbing and doing stick-up stuff, But I guarantee you, if we do it right, now this was my idea.
Well,
I get my little,
not to cut your wisdom, but any area where you have an abundance of poverty, you're gonna have crime.
Yeah.
Now if you eliminate the poverty, then you don't have to deal with the crime.
So I get
very, very, very well. These so-called elites and wealthy people know this shit. Again, I used to give the example of you take a child with their favorite toy and you attempt to give them some pieces of paper for it. They don't want that shit. $10,000 in $100 bills. A child don't want the paper. They have something of substance in their hand that they're having a good time with. What are they going to do with the paper? It's not it's not even an even or fair exchange. But we've gotten away from that again, and that's a part of somebody else's culture. We're talking about we come from the people who actually had the gold and the silver versus people who had nothing. People who come from a place of famine and where hygiene is not even practiced. again, versus the people who held all the resources of the earth. Now we're looking for pieces of paper in order to trade or barter for things that were made from materials that are Earth's resources. Pieces
It's
of
for
paper did
everybody.
not make this computer.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't pieces of paper that made this, laptop or this phone, or
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? These are resources that came from the earth that people invested labor in shaping and molding and so forth. Had nothing to do with pieces of paper or serial numbers.
See,
You know,
now that they put, not to cut you off, they
no,
put
go ahead.
that, they put, I'll call it capitalism. What is it? Capitalism and communism, brother and sister. But capitalism is the opposite of that's how it squeezes we have it. I don't want to make no excuses anymore, man. I'm tired of it. Like I said, I got brothers out here and you got brothers up there, and everybody's trying to sell something for a piece of paper. And you know what I'm saying? And I understand this, but we take that piece of paper and we put it to work for the land or property. Now I have an open store. I want to put I have a idea. I take my little table and chair and I sit down and have me a little coffee in the morning, read my paper, right where the poverty at. And so if we can show it by example, and some of the people are paid to do bad things to keep it like it is, that's why we can't get going, because they pay certain people to cause chaos. They pay people to start fires. When you open your store, somebody comes in and say, that's competition. Let's burn it down. And so now you got insurance. We got a lot of insurance and Medicare fraud going on. I couldn't even cash a $25 check. I couldn't even cash it because it was an insurance check, and they said, no, we don't cash those kind of checks. That's how bad it is. And so when you start doing trade and barter and gold and silver and things of that nature, it's a trust there. And so I said, if I can get out here, and I'm going to get out here and start, because you just gave me the confidence again that I can do this. Sometimes you lose your energy, you lose your spirit. You say, man, I'll F that. You know what I'm saying? Forget that stuff. But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. It's just that right now I'm at a standstill because other things are coming at me and trying to defeat me, basically stress me out. But I know it's going to happen. I see it's happening. But they let the county, the church groups, the civic organizations, all of those people, the NWC, they have a stronghold on this 25 square mile. And I think Overtown is 1,300 square miles.
They're
so
funded and backed, by the people in power.
So when I
Before
want
we
to
get
put
off
go ahead.
on this, I want to share. It's only 25 seconds where they're going to
Right.
give information concerning the town of Evanston's, Illinois. Even the newscaster lady messed up
Did
the
they just
name.
have some bad weather up there a minute ago? I heard.
I'm
Go ahead.
more than likely so, because that's been going on, nationally.
Okay. Now what's going on in Evanston,
If you're
Illinois?
talking about even if you're talking about the fires, across the water from us in Canada, in the
Okay.
aftermath of the toxins and things of that nature, but I'm gonna play it right quick.
Okay.
It's just gonna be audio.
Okay.
In Illinois, it's the first city to make Evanston, Illinois. It's the first city to make reparations available to Black residents for past discrimination and the lingering effects of slavery. The city council voted late last night to distribute $25,000 to each qualifying household. That money can be used for home repairs or down payments on property, and it's funded through a 3% tax on recreational marijuana and donations.
Hold up. Gotta go back.
Evanston, Illinois, it's the first city to make reparations available to Black residents for past discrimination and lingering effects of slavery. The city council voted late last night to distribute $25,000 to each qualifying household. That money can be used for home repairs or down payments on property, and it's funded through a 3% tax on recreational marijuana and donations.
Okay, so that's a little bit of information concerning it, and this is from 2 years ago.
Okay, so guess what? They can take the 25,000 and they can put it into a building fund. You shouldn't have to spend it. But I don't know what they want them to do at 3%. If they allow them to put it into a building fund, or escrow account, or a trust, where it'll be for the people behind them. I know people are saying, "Nah, man, I need it now. I need it." No, you don't need it now. Take that money and flip it, put it into a trust, or put it into escrow, put it into purchasing their own block. Because everything we do is individual. We get it. We say, "Hell no," but they know they have it where I guess it's only allocated for building materials and purchasing land, basically. That's all it should be for. Unless also if they want to use it for medical, because people they got to get themselves together too. So that goes in a minute. So I wanted to multiply. We can take it and put it into an escrow account or a building fund, for buying big equipment. So we shouldn't have to take it being selfish and just go ahead and put it into we said we should pool our resources. Well, take that and pool our resources with that, basically. That's what I would say. But that's a good thing, though. At least they gave them something, But we can get the bigger one if we tighten up a little bit, though. But like I say, it's going to be coming in spurts. LA is about to get theirs, certain parts of LA. Like you said, Oklahoma, they said they repealed it or something, or it didn't go through.
They just lost their case, but they have an opportunity to appeal it, which I'm sure they did.
And not only that, there are things being done with us. We're being put in certain positions of power in offices because this was supposed to be the birth within the next 2 to 5 years. The birth is supposed to be, the child comes out, and we're supposed to have our offices, places of office, of title. That's why we're getting certain things done also. But I think we're going to get it done soon enough, soon as I make my move. It's going to be a big move. And you know what I'm talking about. That thing I showed y'all. And so it's happening, but you probably don't see it. You're going to see it in your time. I may not see it in my time because I'm looking at 2025, 2025, 2050. I think it's 2050 that is supposed to go down. Hopefully I'm here by God willing, I'm here, for that. But that's a cool thing, the 25,000. It's a start. But now, how do you will that, or to those that are coming up, the grandchildren? You know what I'm saying? But the mother,
they couldn't even take 25 grand and build a home. That's why, I just played a snippet. It's a reason why they have these particular, stipulations with that. Like I said, my understanding or overstanding, there were melanated landowners and homeowners who got, had land and assets stolen from them and real estate stolen from them, right? So, that was another reason why the reparations went through, and that it has, those specific stipulations attached to it. So.
Oh, you mean the farmers that had land and they went through that what they call it, the loans
I'm
and
talking
stuff,
about
and
in that particular town, Evanston, Illinois.
right? Did they have land already that was they were duped as far as people
It's,
trying to go ahead.
I don't want to, say things that aren't true,
Right.
but it's a similar situation to what happened to various other melanated towns.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just not as far back
Oh,
in
I got it.
time.
I
So
got it. I got
it's
it.
that,
I got it.
it's
No, I got it.
that's
I
not,
got it.
of course, when you look at the legal jargon or the legalities of it, that's not exactly what they're saying. What I saw was an interview that they did with one of the elders who qualified for it, and he spoke about his family members and ancestors having lands and homes and things like that were taken from them in that same area. So I'm
Okay.
sure that kind of played a part in it. I just don't have the complete information. But what I do want to shed some more light on before we get out of here is the cocaina in La Casa Blanca, right quick, to see
Mm-hmm.
what the feds had said, during their investigation, supposedly to try to find out who left the cocaina in the wild.
How can you
So
do
let's
that
see what
when
happened.
the Secret Service is the ones that's calling the shots? Damn, man, we can't find nobody, but that's telling you there's a weakness in the game. Some that you cannot say that and tell me your Secret Service and your national security and all. No, there's a weakness. There's a weak spot. If somebody's coming in, if they're already here, which they already been here, but you're
Let's see
showing
what
your
they had
weakness.
said.
Fox taking a live look outside the White House, and we do have the latest on the investigation into that cocaine found inside the White House earlier on this month. The Secret Service now saying that no fingerprints or DNA were found on that bag of cocaine, and the person who left that bag has not been identified. This comes after the Secret Service met this morning with members of the House Oversight Committee about the findings of its probe into that incident. Bobby McDonald is a former super. All right, now to an update on a White House mystery that we've been following closely for the last 2 weeks. We may never know who brought cocaine into the West Wing. The Secret Service says it's closing its investigation because of a, quote, lack of physical evidence. Now, just to recap it for you, the baggie of coke was discovered on the ground floor in a common area near the entrance to the West Wing. It was close to a set of storage cubbies. That's where visitors leave their cell phones during tours. Well, we told you last Thursday that senior law enforcement officials say the leading theory is that somebody on a tour may have left that baggie behind. Well, today the Secret Service told us they couldn't find any fingerprints or DNA on that bag containing the cocaine. They say they also didn't get any leads from surveillance video. In a statement, the agency says, quote, without physical evidence, the investigation will not be able to single out a person of interest from the hundreds of individuals who passed through the vestibule where the cocaine was discovered. So, I mean, guess case closed, right? Still remain.
That was what they call that God, what's the term for that? That was the setup for the get up, for the setup, for the get down.
Overlay for the underlay.
Yeah, and it could just be put this out there where it's not really no cocaine because they didn't show anything. Where is the package?
How much fentanyl was in it?
You know what I'm saying? So they could have just said this because Biden's in office and he's slipping, or the Secret Service is slipping. So there's no further investigations. Let it ride. So what you're saying is you have a weak system, a weak security system that's vulnerable, basically, and it needs to be cleaned up from the bottom to the top to the bottom. That's what that is. So they're showing their own hand. They're weak. Anybody could go in there and do something. But what did what your man said? They had that January 6th thing to get that laptop, and they got some heavy stuff waiting to go down. See, I mean, like, so that could have been a distraction because cocaine make you numb, you know. That cocaine will make you numb, man. And then you got that other thing about 2 or 3 years ago, and you put that together, man. You got a cocktail. You got a cocky tail, man. You got the Russia invasion, or the Russian invasion been here forever. You got your big cities that are socialist cities. You got your AK-47s. What's that guy's name? And the name of the AK thing, that's Russia. That's Russia in America. They've already invaded America. So I don't know what they're talking about with all these bombs.
Did you see where they showed, the Chinese have their own little, basically, police stations here and shit?
They've already invaded. They've been here.
Right,
China's
pretty
been
much.
here.
Like I said,
China's
these are the
been here.
things that they
Right.
speak of once, you know what I'm saying? It's already unveiled to the people, and then you don't hear anything else about it. Because I for sure heard about it on NBC News, right? And they, deported a bunch of them or whatever. But what about the Chinese who are coming in through?
Oh my gosh!
Crossing the border with the other, people who are
man.
from other nations.
Oh,
It's a bunch of them
man.
coming in through that way as well. So,
Oh, not only them.
I ain't gonna trip. We ain't gonna keep the people all night. We done gave them an hour. We gonna start cutting short to, an hour and getting on out of here.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
way,
but it's
we
you
go
got
back
me.
a
You
little
got me,
bit.
man.
We
You
don't
be
have to go
catching me
back
so
2 and
off
3
guard.
hours.
You catch me so off guard because I don't even have Wi-Fi. I'm doing this off my phone, my tether. Because I gave up T-Mobile, man. They gypped me on my flip phone. So I said, screw y'all. I gave them back the Wi-Fi. You can have that. I'm giving up a lot of stuff. I'm going back. Going back into the jungle.
Mexican border.
Going back into the jungle, man. But I'm gonna show some stuff, man, and it's gonna be big because these Masons and Eastern Stars talking all that stuff. I'm gonna show them the real Eastern Star. All right, I'm gonna show them the real atom. I'm gonna show them the real thing in a few minutes. Just hold on. We're gonna shut all this shit down. Excuse my language. But yeah, it's all good. Thanks for because I would have never but I was fixing my dryer.
Appreciate you always.
To the fam out there.
All the relatives, peace and love, and we will do this again. And until then, y'all have a great one.
Calico, come back on.
Yeah, he probably busy on the tick and the talk. He got TikTok on lock over there.
Okay, I got to check the brother out, man. I saw what's your boy
Supreme
Shock. Etymology.
They say I'm dope, I said I'm smoke, fire, blowing air, carbon, earth, solid, water, wet. I'm steady beat, a sister soldier that dies effects. So gone with all that hoopla and rah-rah. Unless you talking about Atun, Namuna, Amara, pineal glands, all see your eyes. We call the third eye. We came to build, not pay your bill. Slang municipality, city seals like roadkill, descendants of ancient mound builders. Not supposed to need encyclopedias, genetically encoded with 720. We got amnesia, claiming we Christian Cretans in love with Yahweh, Muhammad, and Jesus. But you was living inside of God when you was a fetus. But